On the night of her 33rd birthday, Lauren stood in front of her bedroom mirror, adjusting the fit of her emerald green maternity dress. She was nearly 8 months along, and while pregnancy had brought its discomforts, the dress hugged her in a way that made her feel almost beautiful. Her younger sister, Chloe, had insisted on hosting the party, even though Lauren had tried to decline. "You've been through enough," Chloe had said. "Let people celebrate your performance." After enough convincing, Lauren felt Ryan, her husband, had been strangely included. The sharp contrast to the distant version of it she had grown used to. He blamed work stress and laziness. But tonight, he held her hand a little tighter, smiled a little more, even helped her with it. Their destination, Bellini's, a high-end Italian restaurant with a private dining suite reserved for the women. Gold balloons shimmered in a pastel band of beauty. After the Lauren stretched her body. Just laughed over the classic. Mostly Ryan's colleagues, including the first and first one. During dinner, Ryan steered her behind his words. "To my wife," he said, "very steady and scanning. In a few weeks, she'll bring our child up. I've never been more proud of her." A wave of applause followed. Lauren, blushing, leaned into him as he wrapped her arm around his. For a second, the scene felt almost cinematic, but the illusion shattered quickly, just as Chloe handed Lauren a silver cake knife to slice into a 3-tier buttercream cake, designed to match the baby's nursery. The private suite swung open. A woman, tall and sharp, strode into the mid-20s, striking in crimson satin boots, jet black hair curled to a slight twist. Every heel click against the floor echoed louder than the chatter that had abruptly stopped. Lauren's fingers froze at the end. The woman's lips curled slightly. "Don't let me interrupt," she said coolly, her gaze moving through the room before locking on. "I'm Cassidy," she added, then turned to Lauren. "Ask your husband who I am." Lauren glanced between Ryan and this stranger. "Ryan," she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Ryan stepped forward, tension radiating on him. "Cassidy, this isn't the place." She laughed, sharp and cold. "Oh, but last night in my apartment was..." A few people gasped. A glass shattered somewhere to the left. Lauren's hand instinctively shielded her. "Ryan, is that true?" He said nothing. No denial. No apology. Cassidy took a few more steps in. The tone burned sharp. "He's been promising me for 6 months that he'd leave her, even after you told him that. He said it wasn't this, that he trapped her. The room would see. All eyes on her. Her makeup still perfect. Her heart can't. Then Cassidy, without warning, reached over and grabbed the top tier of cake. She flung it straight at Lauren. The cake hit her square in the torso. Frosting splattered across her dress, her arms, her face. For a beat, no one moved. Then someone chuckled. Another giggled nervously. Before long, the discomfort turned contagious. A few guests covered their mouths. Some couldn't help but laugh. Lauren stood frozen, her face a mix of shock and shame. Her hair, once neatly pinned, now streaked with. She turned to Ryan, pleading silently for some gesture. Anything that he didn't know. Only cloak. She shoved napkins into the woman's hands and glared at her. "What the hell is wrong with all of you?" she shouted. "She's pregnant. Are you seriously laughing?" Before we continue the story, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to our channel. It really helps us keep making stories like this. Then, like a dam-breaking, Lauren gasped. Her hands clutched her stomach, and her knees buckled slightly. "Something's not right," she whispered, her voice shaky but Chloe's eyes light. A dark stain spread across the bottom of Lauren's dress. Her water had broken, far too early. Panic exploded. Chloe screamed for someone to call in. Lauren collapsed into her sister's arms, crying out from the sudden pain. Only then did Ryan step forward. "Lauren, I'm sorry, don't touch me," she snapped, her voice sharp and ragged with pain. Cassidy backed away slowly, her face pale. She hadn't meant for this. She hadn't expected it to go this far. Without another word, She turned and fled the room. Paramedics arrived within minutes. Lauren was carefully lifted onto a stretcher, tears streaking down her cake-smeared cheeks. Chloe clutched her hand the entire time, whispering words of reassurance. "I'm here. I'm not letting go." Lauren's voice cracked as she was wheeled toward the exit. "Don't leave me. Never," Chloe promised. "Be in the hospital." The diagnosis was over. Lauren was an early baby, triggered by a partial placenta, where the placenta starts to pull away from the uterus. It was serious, life-threatening. Both mother and baby were in distress. I in the waiting room. Ryan was. His skin pale, his movements high. Lauren's parents arrived soon after. Her mother sobbed, her father stone-faced. Chloe sat near her, her phone in hand. Ryan approached cautiously. "What are you doing?" Chloe turned the screen toward him. It was a video. It had captured everything. His toast, Cassidy's entrance, the cake, the laughter. "I was recording her birthday," Chloe said. "Now, I have footage of it. Chloe, I've already sent it to her attorney," she added. "And if anything happens to her or the baby, it's going to happen." Just then, a doctor entered. The room froze. "We're prepping for an emergency C-section," he said. "Both mother and child are hopeless." Lauren's father stood slowly, locking eyes with her. "If they don't make it," he said, "we should have been you in that ambulance." The right operating room lights glared overhead, her body trembling from both ears. Nurses moved with quick, precise coordination while the anesthesiologist gently murmured instructions beside her. Though conscious, she felt half submerged, each breath shallow, each sound muffled. Monitors beeped irregularly. One nurse called out about dropping blood pressure, and the lead surgeon responded quickly, urging the team to stay ahead of complications. Somewhere beyond the call, Lauren heard the words "Peter Hall" rate unsteady. Her vision blurred, her mind swung. Just as the weight of panic threatened to pull her under, she heard a soft voice say, "Stay with us, Lauren. Your baby needs you." The words hit her like a blade. She clenched her fists. She couldn't drift. Not now. She had a hold on it, but a life that depended on her. In the waiting room, time moved like glasses. 2 hours passed with no notice. Chloe had stepped outside to make a call. Rebecca, Lauren's oldest girl, rushed in, pale. "I came as soon as I heard," she said, grabbing Chloe's arm. "Is it true? That woman threw cake at me?" Chloe nodded for her. She did, and Ryan just stood there. Caught it all on video. Rebecca looked stunned. "That's horrific." Chloe's jaw tightened. "I've already sent it to Wednesday. If she doesn't make it, the whole world will see it." Before Chloe could say more, the surgeon and scrubs stepped in. Everyone stood. The air was tight with silence. "The baby has been delivered," he said. "A girl. 5 pounds, 3 ounces." A collective exhale filled the room, followed by immediate concern. "And Lauren?" Ryan asked, his voice cracking. "She lost a significant amount of blood," the doctor said. "We've stabilized her function, but her condition is still critical. The next 24 hours are crucial." Lauren's mother began to pray, while her father turned to her. "Can we see her? She's being moved to her father." One person said, "The baby's in the NICU, receiving oxygen." Ryan took a step forward. "I want to see her." But before he could move further, Lauren's father said, "You've done enough," he growled. Ryan looked still. "She's my wife. That's my child." Lauren's father didn't flinch. "Funny, you didn't act like that when she was being humiliated. Go home. She doesn't need you anymore." Ryan didn't respond. He simply sank into a chair, covering his face with his hands. Chloe walked over and stood in front of him. Her voice came out. "Why, Ryan? Why did you do that?" He looked up slowly, his expression shocked. "I didn't mean for anything." "That's not an answer," he said shortly. "She loved you. She trusted you. She spent months planning a life with you. And you were busy sleeping around this in your phone. It didn't start out like that. We were working with her. And then Lauren, she was always talking about me. I felt invisible." Chloe shook her head. "So you cheated because she was preparing then lied to the other woman, and he wasn't. Ryan's silence said, he let her fall to the ground, covered in pain, and three bits of pain. She was in pain, scared, and confused. I want to fix it. You can't. Chloe's voice dropped. Some things can't be done. A nurse informing them that Lauren was in recovery and the baby was safe. Chloe followed the nurse out of the ICU, where Lauren lay dead on the sheets, her face slit. Wires and wires surrounded her, quietly tracking every beat. Chloe sat beside her, gently took her hand. Her phone buzzed on her. The video was already making noise. Local news had picked up. National outlets were starting to call. Ryan's law firm was being flooded with evidence. Cassidy's identity. Internet users had tracked her down, pulled up old photos, and flooded her non-reactivated social media. Then, monster, a faint groan was speaking loosely out of its phone. Chloe leaned her quickly. You're okay. You're in the hospital. The baby's here. She's in the NICU. But she's doing it. Lauren's lips broke. The baby was her. She's strong. She's beautiful, Chloe said, her voice catching. 5 pounds, 3 ounces. Mom and Dad over here. Tears filled Lauren's eyes. Her voice broke. It wasn't a dream, was it? Okay. Cassidy. Everyone laughing. Chloe's face value. No, it all happened. And there will be consequences. Just then, the nurse entered with a clear plastic vessel. She could only stay a few minutes, but we thought you'd want to meet her. With careful hands, the nurse placed the tiny baby on Lauren's chest, adjusting the wires and tubes so they wouldn't interfere with her. Skin to skin, their bodies touched. Lauren looked down at her daughter, tears now pouring through. Hi there, she whispered, her lips brushing the baby's forehead. I'm your mom. Chloe watched from the side, wiping her own tears. Even after everything, after the betrayal, the trauma, the pain, this moment was beautiful. It was proof that something pure could still come from the person. The nurse smiled gently. Picked me. Lauren never looked away from me. Sophia, she said softly. It means wisdom. Down in the hospital parking lot. Ryan sat in his car, his phone buzzing nonstop in the passenger seat. Missed calls from his boss, dozens of texts from friends, and a single voicemail from Cassidy. Panicked, frantic. They're suspending me. HR want to meet me. This is all your fault. You told me your wife knew. He had no reply, no excuse. He had lied to everyone, and now his entire life was unreal. Even his own mother had left him voicemails, asking to come around. Inside, he could hear every second of silence following Cassidy's orders. He hadn't defended her. He hadn't stepped in. And now, he hadn't even met his daughter. Inside the neonatal unit, Lauren sat quietly in a wheelchair beside Sophia's incubator, her hand resting on the plastic edge. The soft hiss of oxygen and the rhythmic beeping of monitors filled the stairway. Her daughter's chest rose and fell in tiny, precise movements. Just hours ago, everything had felt like it was slipping through her fingers. Now, each breath Sophia took felt like Lauren leaned in, whispering softly, "You're safe now." Behind her, a muted television on the wall played a breaking news. A reporter's voice narrated over a screenshot from a birthday party. An 8 months pregnant woman was assaulted with a cake during her birthday celebration. Video evidence shows the husband passive and silent as the incident unfolded. Online reaction has been swift and unforgiving. Lauren's mother grabbed her mic and muted it with a sharp click. "You don't need to see that now," she said. Lauren didn't reply. Her eyes were still on Sophia. None of it matters anymore. She's all that matters now. Her father stood near the door, arms crossed to him. "It doesn't matter," he said, voice low and steady. That man stood there while his mistress humiliated him in front of him. He didn't lift a damn thing. He's not going anywhere near her. Just then, Chloe walked in holding a folded set of clean clothes and a phone buzzing with messages. "Security just stopped me at the elevator. Ryan tried to come in. He's in the lobby." Lauren didn't even look. "I don't want to see him," she said, her voice loud. We won't, her father replied. I'll take care of it. Please don't make a scene. Lauren nodded softly. Just make sure he's gone. Her father gave a sharp nod and turned to leave. Downstairs in the hospital lobby, Ryan sat stiffly in one of the uncomfortable waiting chairs, nervously clutching a small teddy bear around his knees. He looked up as Lauren's father approached, hope flickering with thinking in his eyes. Robert, Ryan said, stand up. I need to see him. I want to see the baby. Robert's expression was startled. He doesn't want to see me, he said. Not now. Maybe not ever. Ryan's voice trembled. She can't keep me from my daughter. The daughter you denied to me. Robert snickered. The one who came a month early because of what you allowed to happen. I made mistakes, Ryan admitted, his voice faltered. But I love it. I want to fix this. Robert leaned in slightly, his arm like this. You don't get to say that. You don't get to pretend Ryan. You made months of selfish decisions, and now you're shocked to talk to others. Ryan's head dropped. Lauren's working with her lawyer. Robert continued. Cassidy has a restraining order problem. If you want access to the child, you'll go through the insurance. Like everyone else in the world. Lawyer, Ryan repeated, astonished. Yes, Robert said. And if you care at all about it, we respect the process. Without waiting for a response, he turned and walked back toward the elevators, leaving Ryan standing alone, teddy bear in hand, in a lobby that suddenly felt far too large. Upstairs, Lauren sat propped up in a hospital, one arm loosely curled on Sophie's bedside. It had been a long and sleepless night, but both she and baby were asleep. Nurses moved in and out quietly, checking vitals, updating charts, and adjusting items. The door opened again, and the arms full of balloons and a gift bag covered with it. Look at me, she said, already rocking the boat. Lauren chuckled softly. Diplomas no makeup, zero sleep. Then Rebecca placed the balloons down and gave them a perfect. How are you, man? Lauren exhaled slowly. Tired. Grateful. Well, maybe. I'm still unpacking it all. Totally normal, Rebecca said to me. Mom and Dad offered to take me, but I said no. I want to rebuild on my house. In my own home. But what's left of it? So, I moved out. Rebecca asked carefully. Lauren nodded. A few days ago, my lawyer made sure. And divorced. Lauren's voice was sad. It's happened. Cassidy's been served with children. Child support paperwork's in progress. Divorce is amazed. Rebecca gave a smile. I'm proud of it. Lauren looked at me. I just keep thinking, if he couldn't protect me, how could I ever trust him to protect me? You can't, Rebecca replied gently. And now you don't have to. Rebecca reached in her gift bag and pulled out a soft gray baby wrap from the whole team at work. Diapers, some gift cards, and 16 weeks of payment. We got your back. Lauren's eyes filled. You guys didn't have to do that. We love you, Rebecca said simply. The nurse poked her head in. Paperwork's ready when you walk home. You're officially cleared to go. Lauren gave a tired smile. More than ready. Chloe appeared at the door seconds later, holding an infant car seat and a box of takeaway supplies. Your royal carriage awaits, she said. As they gathered their things and wheeled Lauren toward the exit, a few reporters still lingered near the hospital entrance. Security kept them at bay, but flashes popped as soon as Lauren stepped in. Chloe shot them a glare and ripped the diaper bag. Parasites, she muttered under her breath. Lauren kept her gaze low, focusing only on Sophia, wrapped snugly in her arms. Each step toward the car felt like a step away from the shattered life she was leaving behind. Inside the vehicle, Chloe buckled Sophia in while Lauren slid into the passenger seat. As the car pulled away from the curb, the city moved around, noisy, busy, and different. But for Lauren, everything looked different. She stared out the window quietly, then glanced at her daughter's reflection in the bedroom mirror. You okay? Chloe asked gently. Lauren nodded. How will we? She said. And this time, she believed it. Across the city, Ryan sat stiffly in a high-rise conference room with Bradford and Bradford. place where he'd spent the last decade climbing the ladder for a partnership. But today, he wasn't in a meeting to discuss client strategy. He was sitting across from the HR director, Harold Lockhart himself, the founding partner. The tension in the room was immediate and subtle. The HR director, a woman named Vivian, didn't bother with small talk. After reviewing recent events and public experience, the executive board has voted to terminate your employment effective immediately, she said. Ryan's heart sank, though he tried not to show it. Understand, she said, listen. Our firm is now the center of the fire squad. Lockhart added. Your personal decisions have cost us major benefits. We can't afford to carry on. Ryan nodded slowly. What about Cassidy? Miss Roberts resigned yesterday. Vivian. Her situation is closed. Ryan swallowed hard. She hadn't even said goodbye. Her last message had been sharp slip. You ruined everything. Don't ever contact me again. Vivian slid a folder across the table. 2 weeks sentence. Your personal belongings will be packed and handed over to reception. Security will escort you. Ryan offered no resistance. Just a week ago, he was being considered for partner. Now, he was being ushered out like a pariah. As he stepped into the elevator holding a cardboard box, he avoided eye contact with the elevator. He could feel the judgment pressing on him. Outside the parking lot, Ryan paused beside his car, staring back at the glass tower. His marriage was gone. His career was destroyed. And his daughter, the only thing left, was someone he hadn't even heard. Meanwhile, Lauren sat in the office of the headquarters, one of the city's most respected universities. Sophia slept quietly in the carrier beside her. Diana adjusted her glasses and tapped the pen against her lips. Let's prioritize what matters most to you, she said. Lauren didn't hesitate. Full custody. Stable financial support. I want to stay in the house. I built that way. And visitation for the home, but on my terms. Diana nodded approval. All reasonable, especially with that word. It's a strong case. Lauren's expression stiffened slightly. I hate that the footage is out there. I also know it protects me. Diana offered a rare, understanding smile. You didn't ask for this, but your husband's actions created consequences, not your camera. Sophia stirred gently, letting out a soft noise. Lauren reached over, lifting her with practiced care. You mind? Not all, Diana said. I'm a mother of three. I've seen everything from nursing to diaper blowout experience. Lauren laughed softly, then grew serious. Has his lawyer reached out? Yes, Diana replied. Gerald Hoffman. He's professional. We're arranging a preliminary meeting next week. Separate meetings. Good, Lauren said. I'm not ready to be in the same space with you. Diana made another note. Communication? Only through Chloe or my friends. Lauren spoke. He texted asking me to say something. I told him to speak. Smart, Diana. Cassie? Still black. There were strange words in her voice. Last I heard, she left me. Diana nodded. You're handling this with more clarity than others. Lauren glanced at her phone. Now peacefully. I don't have the luxury of calling. Every choice I'm making is personal. Honestly, I'm done crying over a man who walked into my house. Across town, Ryan was having a very difficult time. He sat in Gerald Hopkins' office, staring at the carpet while he turned the water to strange grounds outside. The preliminary meeting is set for next Wednesday, Gerald said. You won't be face to face with her. She'll be in another room. Ryan nodded. I need to speak with her. Good explain. Gerald held up. Now's not the time. And frankly, your position is important. Ryan witnessed. Because of the video, because of the facts, Gerald corrected. You cheated. The mistress attacked the pregnant. Your inaction contributed to the and now you're on the floor. This is about minimizing the harm. Ryan laying his hand on his knees, but I don't want to force. Gerald was sympathetic, but fine. She's already fine. What do you want now? Is access to the car. That's the only relationship I still see. Ryan's voice cracked. I haven't even held him. We'll work on this condition. Probably supervise this. But if you stay consistent and responsible, you can afford it. I'll do anything, Ryan said, eyes watering. Then start by listening, Gerald said. The court doesn't care how sorry you are. They care about what you do. The morning of the preliminary defense, Ryan died under a heavy blanket. The city skyline faded into gray as Lauren sat in a quiet waiting room on the 18th floor of a sleek downtown. Chloe was beside her, legs crossed, tapping lightly on her phone, though her attention never really drifted far from her sister. Across the hall, in a separate room, Ryan waited with his father, his hand clasped, bouncing slightly back and forth. The air between them was tense, filled with unsaid words neither wanted to be breathed. And the glass wall Diana Winter sat at the floor. Legal pads were stacked. A printed binder of custody proposal opened. Diana began, her tone composed but unwavering. My client is requesting full physical custody of the child, with supervised visitation from Mr. Mitchell. 2 visits per week, each lasting 2 hours, held in the child's residence with her sister present as the mom. Gerald frowned slightly. That's extremely limited. There's been no indication that Ryan poses a danger to the child. It's not about violence, Diana replied. It's about judgment. The mother was publicly humiliated, sent into early labor, and failed. Until trust is rebuilt, this is a safety precaution. Gerald nodded slowly. Understood. We'll agree to a 60-day review to revisit terms based on the facts. Exactly, Diana confirmed. With that said, they moved to financial support. Diana slid a document across the table. Given Mr. Mitchell's prior salary and factoring in recent unemployment, we're proposing temporary support based on 75% of with a 3-month notice. Gerald wrote, that's more than fair. My client isn't interested in revenge, Diana said. She wants stability for her own. The discussion continued, covering medical decision-making, access to the new home, shared expenses, all handled with careful precision. When the final clause was reviewed, Diana closed her mind and stared. I'll go over the full terms with her. Assuming she agrees, we'll file the formal divorce papers. Gerald gave a polite nod. I'll advise her. Though he's still hoping for reconciliation, Diana didn't respond to him. She simply walked out. He was clicking softly against the polished floor. Back in moment, the atmosphere had grown. The emotional weight of the morning was pressing down on her, harder than she'd expected. Sophia was asleep in a carrier by the window. A pink fleece blanket tucked around her shoulders. Chloe was scrolling through her feed, occasionally muttering updates. Cassidy just deactivated her live streaming profile. The internet's still on fire right now. Lauren sighed. I don't want people threatened. What you did was awful, but I don't believe in my justice. You're better than me, Chloe. She deserves to sweat. She already lost her job. Her reputation probably improved. But Ryan, he was the one who stood. He's the one who broke us. At that moment, Diana stepped in and even more. We reached a preliminary agreement on all arrangements. Visitation will start twice weekly, supervised, with you and Chloe present. Financial support is secure. Cassidy's restraining order is out, and legal custody is yours. Or not at slow. So, I'll be seeing you next week. Yes, Diana replied, but only within the visitation hours. He won't be left alone with Sophia. Lauren looked over at her daughter and let out a cry. Look, she deserves to know everything, but I won't let him hurt her like he did. Diana gave softly. You're protecting her, setting clear boundaries. That's exactly what a good mother does. Meanwhile, across the hall, Gerald laid out the same terms for Ryan, who sat silently as each clause was explained. His father remained beside him, a steady presence. She agreed to supervised visitation, Gerald said, twice a week to start. If you follow the rules, there's room to expand. Ryan swallowed. Did she say anything about me? About us? Gerald hesitated, only that she's moving forward. Ryan looked at her. Robert placed a hand on his son's shoulder. You can still be a father, he said. That's the role you need to fight for. Once the documents were signed and initialed, both parties left the building through separate exits. The agreement was temporary, but binding. That night, Lauren returned home, exhausted yet strangely. The house felt different, less like a battlefield, more like a place she could be. The wedding photos were the rooms had shifted. They didn't feel like their home anymore. It felt like homes later, in the quiet of Sophia's nursery. She watched her daughter sleep beneath the soft glow of the moon. Her phone buzzed on Wednesday. A message from her. I found Sophia's bone. Should I drop it off tonight? Lauren typed back quickly. No need. She has a spare. Bring a friend. The exchange was short. Official. Professional. It felt strangely living. Like drawing a line in the sand. Finally arranged. Exactly 1 week after court-approved visitation began, Lauren sat at the far corner of the quiet cafe, nursing a lukewarm cup of tea and magazine. Beside her, Chloe kept a protective eye on the door while Boston sat the last person Lauren ever expected to face. Dawn was the woman who had crashed her birthday in a blood-red dress, tossed cake. Cassidy looked small in it. Her posture was tense, her sweater oversized, her makeup murdered. She seemed like someone who hadn't slept properly in months. Thank you for agreeing to me, Cassidy said softly, voice barely above the clatter of cups behind the counter. Honestly, I didn't think you would. I wasn't sure I would need it, Lauren replied, the tone you. But my therapist said healing sometimes means sitting with depression. So here I am. Cassidy nodded slowly. Her hands fidgeted with the sleeve of the coffee. Nothing. I've been in therapy, she said. Trying to understand what but none of that excuses. Lauren said nothing. Cassidy took it. That night, I thought I was confronting a woman who was doing me. I was angry. I felt mistaken. But I was wrong. I was being lied. And instead of walking away, I exploded. Her voice cracked. I am dangerous. And you're dangerous. Because I couldn't handle my emotions. And I'm sorry. Truly, Lauren's expression didn't change. You could have left. But you didn't. You stayed. You humiliated me. And you made people laugh while I stood there carrying a child. Cassidy blinked back tears. I know. And I think about that moment every day. That's why I asked him. I didn't come for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. But I had to say it. Face to face. Chloe looked like she was biting her tongue. But Lauren gently touched her. You didn't start. You failed. Cassidy hesitated. About 6 months before we met. He said you too barely felt. That you were obsessed with me. That he felt invisible. Did you know I was pregnant? Yes, Cassidy said. He told me the moment he got close. So it was unplanned. That you manipulated me. Later, he said the baby might not even be his. Lauren closed her eyes to herself. We tried for it. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a trick. He was playing. And he knew it. Cassidy looked down at the top. I figured that out too late. But I let myself believe it. I knew you feel justified. And that made it easier to avoid it. Silence sat between them. Finally, Lauren said, I don't know if I'll ever forgive you, but I believe you will. And I believe in you. Cassidy tears and silently rolling over her cheeks. Thank you. That's more than awesome. As the meeting ended and they walked in the park, Chloe looked silent. I don't know how you did that. Lauren looked up. I didn't do it. I did it. I need to move forward. And to do that, I needed to stop carrying myself. Chloe gave a small smile. You're incredible. That woman almost destroyed you, and you sat across from her without flinching. That wasn't strength, Lauren replied. That was choosing peace. For me, for Sophia. Elsewhere in a quiet park on the other side of town, Ryan sat on a bench with Sophia in his arms for the very first time. It was a second supervised visit, with Chloe seated a few feet away, arms crossed but silent. Sophia's small fingers wrapped around the surprise instrument. He stared at her, almost unable to speak. Hi, he whispered in his ear. I'm your dad, and I don't deserve this. But I'm going to try it every single day. Chloe didn't. She didn't need to. could see it. This wasn't the For the first time, Ryan wasn't trying to be funny. He was trying to show up, not as the man who loved him, but as a father who not stood beside him. That evening, Lauren sat on her small bed, wrapped in a full side. Her phone buzzed with a message from her. Sophia left her pacifier. I need to bring it by tonight. She stared at it for a second. No need. Bring it during your next visit. No words. No smiley face. Just functional words exchanged between commandments. It was quiet, detached, but it worked. Before we continue the story, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us keep doing stories like this. The next morning, Lauren met with Diane to finalize that last plan. It had moved quickly, both sides motivated to close this chapter. The agreement was clear. Lauren kept the house. Full custody with structured visitation was hers, and financial support was mine. Cassidy's restraining order would remain in place. Legally, it was done. Emotionally, there were still bruises. Afterward, Lauren stopped by Sophia's daycare to pick her up. The caregiver greeted her with a smile. She's been so bright today. Started stacking blocks on her own. Lauren smiled, lifting Sophia into her arms and kissing her tiny cheek. That's my girl, she whispered. You're going to build a life of father and you will share. 6 months passed quietly. The days blurred into a steady rhythm of feelings, bedtime stories, and soft words. Lauren found herself waking up before her alarm most mornings, not out of stress, but from something else she hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. Her world had grown smaller, but richer, centered around Sophia, part-time return to work, and a circle of people who had never met her. The law firm where she worked offered a flexible schedule. A few weeks after she returned, a colleague quietly advocated for a private nursing home to be installed, and HR approved it without question. Every small gesture reminded her she was no longer just surviving. She was being seen. Ryan, to her surprise, had remained consistent. He never missed a visit. He never pushed. He showed up on time, focused solely on Sophia. For the first 2 months, Chloe continued to supervise, always with her mission. But eventually, Lauren agreed to transition to unsupervised weekend activities. Ryan didn't ask for more. He didn't try to rehash the past or ask for forgiveness. Their communication remained brief and purely emotional. It was cold, yes, but it was safe. And that, for Lauren, was enough to earn one crisp October morning. Lauren sat curled on a therapist's couch, a cup of peppermint tea warming her hands. Dr. Levine had been with her through it all, the betrayal, the legal battles, the trauma. Now, their sessions felt less like emotional triage and more like thoughtful reflections. You seem more grounded than the therapist was. Lauren smiled. I think I am. Sophia's right. Work's management, and the noise has died down. There's a rhythm now. It's not perfect, but it's ours. And the divorce being finalized? A relief, Lauren agreed. But there's still this ache sometimes. Not for me, but for what I thought life was going to be. To see couples at the grocery store, the park, and bathroom. I grieve the future of them. That's completely natural, Dr. Levine said. You didn't just lose a marriage. You lost a version of your life you were invested in. Lauren nodded slowly. Exactly. I'm not sad he's gone. I'm sad for the life I thought Sophia would have. And how are the co-parenting arrangements? Stable, Lauren said. We're like polite strangers. He follows the schedule, sends photos, updates me on what she needs. It's efficient. That's all I wanted to be. The therapist flipped the page and asked, have you thought about dating? Lauren chuckled. Hard to fit romance between diapers and daycare needs. But honestly, I'm not ready. I'm still learning how to be just the one kid. Not Ryan's wife. Not only Sophia's mom. Just me. That self-awareness will take you far. Dr. Levine said. You're not filling a void. You're rebuilding yourself. That afternoon, as Lauren picked Sophia up from daycare, the little girl screamed and ran out of the car into the wooden spoon. Oh, she shouted proudly, waving a towel at the trees. The caregiver smiled. She's at medical issues. Might have an engineer on her office. Lauren liked it. I'll take it. Later that evening, as she got Sophia to bed. Lauren's flowers. Chloe's name lit up the screen. "You sitting down?" she asked the maid. "I'm in the kitchen," Lauren said, wiping down the quick dish. Guess you just messaged me. On LinkedIn and Cool, Cassie. She says she's been in therapy and is working on addiction issues. She wants to meet you, face to face, to apologize. Lauren's heart fell. She gripped the edge of the door. And you said, "I told her I'd pass the message. I also told her I'd be there. But no pressure. Just thought we should meet." That night, after the house had been quiet, Lauren stepped out onto the patio of Lauren's place. Her phone rested on the table beside her, screen dark. A message from Cassie covered her. Part of her wanted to shut the door on everything. But another part, small part, steady, wondered if facing Cassie might help her finally let go of her facade. Maybe not as she sipped her wine, the phone buzzed. This time it was right. Sophia left her bag on the phone. "Should I drop it off tonight?" Lauren replied quickly. "No, bring it Friday." "Sure." "Control." "Clean." That was their rhythm. They weren't rebuilding. They weren't reconnecting. They were simply maintaining the walls that kept the peace. And that was it. The following week, Lauren walked into a summer community center with Chloe on her side, and Sophia on the next one. The center buzzed with soft shadow, the smell of fresh-baked cookies, and the sound of toddlers. Across the hall sat David, a single father she'd met a few weeks earlier during the top dinner. His son, Logan, had taken a quick liking to Sophia, and their fast-growing friendship had brought their parents into occasional light conversation. Today was their third casual meeting. Nothing romantic, just two adults raising kids who like toy trucks and stacking books. David greeted, smiling warmly as he waved over. Logan's already claimed a corner of the home. Lauren smiled. Sophia would join him soon. But fair warning, she's been on a tear with lots of others. David laughed. "Then we better reinforce the bridge." He just laughed. Their conversation flowed easily, the kind of mutual respect. David didn't ask about it. He didn't pry. He listened. He showed up. And that, for now, was enough. Lauren wasn't looking for stories. She was looking for steadiness. And while she wasn't ready for anything serious, she was beginning to understand that healing didn't always have to be hard. Later that night, after putting Sophia to bed, cleaning up toys from every corner of the living room, Lauren stood in front of the mirror. For the first time in over a year, she truly studied her reflection. Her hair was up in a loose bun, a faded sweatshirt hung from one shoulder, and dark circles still shadowed her eyes. But she didn't look broken. She looked whole, a woman who had crawled through the storm and come out safe. The woman Brian once neglected was gone. In her place stood someone short. Kinga, wiser AS. She passed Sophia's nursery. She paused, resting one hand. Inside, her daughter slept soundly under a soft pink light, one fist curled on the other cheek. Lauren stepped inside, leaned down, and kissed her father. "You are everything," she whispered. "You saved me without even knowing." Across town, Ryan sat in a small apartment, flipping through photos on his phone. Photos of Sophia at the park, in a sippy cup, climbing a slide, belly laughing at the sea. His life had changed drastically. His once sprawling condo had been sold. The high-paying job was gone. The social circles had disappeared. What remained was a quiet space with furniture he barely noticed and a wall covered with printed photos. He hadn't heard from Cassidy since her final voicemail. She had vanished from his world completely. And for the first time, Ryan didn't feel like chasing after the dogs. He only wanted to protect what was left. He didn't reply to Ryan's last message. He didn't ask for more time. He didn't try to mend things that were no longer his intention. Instead, he packed Sophie's bundle into a small zipping pouch and set it on the door, ready to fly. The next day, the story that had once gone viral, a woman humiliated at her own birthday party while 8 months pregnant, was a distant reality. The hashtags of fate, the outrage had moved on to other stories, but the people who lived through it carried the memory of the story. Not a room, not not anymore. It's something that reminded them of what they had in dream and what they had when they did. That afternoon, Lauren received a call from her. A National Women's Magazine was doing a feature on strength after the trip. They want to include your story. Name change if preferred. Lauren thought for a long time. No, she said finally. I don't want to be anyone's inspiration story. Diana was quiet for her. Understood. Just know I have more power over you than anyone. I already have everything I need, Lauren replied. The rest is just noise. On the one-year anniversary of that fateful birthday, Lauren stood in her kitchen frosting a small banana. Sophia sat in her high chair nearby, giggling at sprinkles landing on her face. Chloe burst through the door, carrying a balloon bouquet and sparkling bouquet. Happy rebirth day, she announced. This is as much your celebration as it is Sophia's. Lauren laughed. You're really leaning into this thing. Damn right I am, Chloe grinned. You survived betrayal, public humiliation, and a crash course in saying motherhood. That deserves cake. More guests arrived. Rebecca, co-worker from the firm, a new friend from the playgroup. The room was filled with warmth, laughter, and quiet pride. Lauren looked around, overwhelmed not by sadness, but by gratitude. These are the people who have held her. These are the ones who never left. When it came time to blow out the candles, Lauren lifted Sophia's hand and helped her aim for the single pinky. As it flickered out, Chloe raised her glass. To Lauren, the strongest woman I know, may this year bring peace, clarity, and cake that stays on the plate. Laughter erupted around the room. That night, after the guests left and Sophia was asleep, Lauren stepped outside. The patio lights twinkled. Her phone buzzed. A message from her. Logan wants to know if Sophia is free in another block tower. She smiled as she talked to her. For him, it wasn't a love story. Not yet. Maybe never. But it was a start. And Lauren was finally ready for the goods. The sun rose gently over the quiet evening as Lauren packed Sophia's diaper bag for another weekend visit. It had become routine now. Friday drop-offs, Sunday pickups, text updates about snack preferences, and nap schedules. Co-parenting wasn't easy, but it was stable, predictable, and more than anything, it was peaceful. That morning, Ryan arrived exactly on time. He didn't linger at the door, didn't ask to come inside. He simply greeted Lauren with a soft morning and bent down to pick up Sophia. She beamed and held out her arms. Hi, Dada, she chirped. Ryan's eyes lit up. Hey there, princess. Ready to go see ducks today. Lauren stood back and watched the interaction. It no longer stirred. It no longer brought up memories of cake or betrayal and public silence. It was just a father and daughter. That was all. Later that day, Lauren sat in the kitchen over sorting through the legal documents. Mama stayed up. Sophie's medical papers and confirmation of her Her last name was now officially called. The line drawn between who she used to be and who she had become. Finally, undeniable, she didn't cry when she signed the contract. She smiled, and yes, she organized the contract. Another message from Cassie. It had been weeks since the coffee shop closed. She hadn't contacted Lauren since. Just wanted to say thank you. I've taken a full-time volunteer position in Chicago and left social media. I'm focusing on studying. I'm not asking for anything. Just want to let you know I'm very curious. Lauren stared at the screen. She didn't reply. She didn't need to. Some closure doesn't require conversation. Some peace just comes from knowing the knowing. That evening, after Lauren dropped Sophia off, Lauren gave her daughter a hug, wrapped her in a little towel, and sat with her in the nursery, humming softly as she rocked the box. Sophia clutched the soft, crushed giraffe and nestled against her chest. The scent of lavender lotion lingered in the air, and the room glowed gently from the night. As Sophia drifted off, Lauren held her a little longer than ever. The quiet had become something safe. Not empty, not lonely, just still. Once Sophia was asleep, Lauren stepped outside with a blanket on her shoulders and a cup of tea in her hand. The sky stretched wide above her, the stars sharp and clear in the cool night. Her phone buzzed once more. This time it was from Chloe. Just a simple message. Proud of you always. Lauren smiled, pulling the blanket tighter around her. Inside, the house was still. Her house. Her life. No longer a shared space with secrets in the walls. No longer defined by what had gone on. It was a space built from survival, from resilience, from starting over. Somewhere out there, people had already forgotten the viral video, the birthday party scene, the clickbait headlines. But for Lauren, the memory had died. It had transformed. It wasn't about shame anymore. It was about proof. Proof that she had stood, even when no one else had. That she had protected her daughter. That she had chosen herself. Yes, she climbed into bed and pulled the covers over. She didn't understand. Not love, not apology, not revenge. She had clarity. She had her daughter. She had peace. And for the first time in a long, long time, that was it.